I want to help you to suffer less, a lot less. I want to help you to discover a part of you that never suffers, is never agitated, is never anxious, is never depressed. It never feels that something is missing, no sense of lack, no restlessness, not even boredom. And it's not even a part of you, it is you. It's your true self, your essential self. So let's baseline this so that we're all on the same page. Your true self, your essential self, is your consciousness, your awareness, your presence. You are the one inside watching all of this, everything you experience, what you see, what you hear, what you think, what you feel. You are the one inside watching and experiencing all of that. That is your true self, your essential self. And you can call it whatever you want or have read in books: consciousness, awareness, presence, being, seat of self, the divine, the beloved, the silent watcher, the observer. They all point to the same thing. It is this one inside of us that is watching everything. That is your true self, your essential self. And I want to help you find it. And to say to find it is actually not really accurate, because it's always been with you. You were born into awareness. It was there when you were a toddler, when you were a teen, when you're in 20s or 30s. It's there with you right now as you listen and watch me. It is like the empty open space. It's just there, observing everything. And it's been with you there all your life. And yet it's so veiled. It's so covered up that we don't even notice it. Most of the time, actually all of the time. It's like the sun hidden behind the clouds. And it's just nonstop cloudy days. And you never see the sun shining. And yet it's still there. Your awareness is with you all the time. Even when you're sleeping, you're dreaming. It's seeing your dreams. It's experiencing everything you see, hear, touch, taste, smell during the waking state. It's always there. Yet we veil it and cover it so much that we don't even notice it. So I want to help you to find that awareness. And it's really not a doing or going out and getting or buying process. We're so accustomed and habitual and conditioned to go out and find something, go do it. And it's like, okay, give me a to-do list, let me go out and do it. And that's the paradox with finding awareness. It's really more of an undoing process. You can't go to an app store and download this. You actually have to sink back. You have to fall back. You have to relax back to discover your awareness. And that's why it's so difficult for us to see that, because we're so accustomed to looking out there for it. And it's not out there. We have to turn inward. It's in here. And so it's so veiled. So there are 3 great techniques, 3 doorways to find awareness that I want to share with you today. You've probably heard of these. And all 3 have a couple things in common. One, they serve as an anchor. They ground you, because our mind is whirling and swirling like a kite in the wind. The thoughts and feelings and emotions, everything, it's always up here. And these techniques ground you. They anchor you. So they're really important for that. And also notice that they are readily available to you and portable. Wherever you go, you can practice these techniques. They're fantastic techniques. The first one is to connect to your breath. We've all heard about this, meditation perhaps. Just connect to your breath. Feel as you inhale, hold, and then exhale. I won't go into details with this because there's so many videos on this and you've probably heard about this. The second one is sensory perceptions. connect to your five senses, what you see, what you hear, touch, taste, and smell. The third one is to come into your body, to focus all your attention on a part of your body. Try the extremities first, your hands, your feet, even your fingers and your toes. And you'll feel like this energy when you focus all your attention there, like on your big toe right now. You'll feel it like tingle if you really focus all your attention there. So these are the three doorways that you can come into awareness. And they're all readily available to us. You can use them all day, any day. So those of you that have excuses like, I don't have time to do this, you can do this when you're walking. You can do this when you're at work, sitting at your desk. You can do this while having coffee with your friend. You can do this at the dentist. You can do this at the line in the supermarket. Everywhere. Just come into awareness. Focus on your breath, the five senses. If you're out walking in nature, look at the trees, the cloud formations. Feel the breeze, feel the sun. I was at a dentist and the dentist was drilling into me and I was coming into my body, putting all my attention on my left foot. And that helped me stay present, even while the dentist is drilling, giving me a filling. So it is possible. So just know that it's always available to you 24/7, wherever you are, wherever you go. And just know that there's no suffering in awareness. This is why it's so beautiful to come into awareness. Because wherever you are, there you are. You could be at the dentist. I was at the dentist with that. There's no suffering. The suffering comes from our mind-made activity saying, I don't want to be here. I don't like this. This isn't good. I want to be somewhere else. This resistance. You are where you are. You're stuck in a line at the supermarket. Your flight's delayed at the airport. You're at the dentist, in the waiting room, at the doctor's office. You are where you are. The suffering comes from our resistance saying, I don't want to be here. I don't like this. I don't want this. I want to be somewhere else. If you can see that, you can eliminate so much suffering that is so unnecessary. So find surrender and profound acceptance wherever you are. And come into awareness, because awareness, there's always peace and happiness. There's no impulse to leave it, because why would you leave something that is so peaceful, joyful, and happy? I hope you can see that and understand that. Many of my videos talk about this in much greater detail and depth. There's also a direct path to awareness. I love to practice this one. I'll share it with you now. You simply ask the question, am I aware? Let's try this now. Am I aware? You probably paused for a bit before answering yes. But where did your mind go? See, the mind, whatever it's looking at, wherever it puts its attention, that's where your consciousness goes. And the word attention comes from two Latin words, a and tendere. A meaning to or towards, tendere to stretch or stretch. So wherever you put your attention, you're stretching towards something, and it's always outward. I put my attention on the tree, or on my voice, on your thought, on your feeling. Wherever you're putting your attention, that's where your focus is, and that's where your consciousness is. But when I asked you the question, am I aware? The mind cannot know awareness. So at first you went outward, into the world trying to find it. You couldn't find it, and that's why you paused. You had to turn inward. The mind had to plunge into your source. It literally had to turn inward because the mind cannot know awareness. And this is a direct path, because when you finally answered yes to am I aware, you are in awareness. You found awareness. Congratulations. It's really that simple. Now the hard part is staying in awareness. There's a second question you can ask after saying, am I aware? But feel free to ask that question all day, every day, just to get you back into awareness. The second question would be, what is it that is having the experience of being aware? Same thing, you're going to pause, and then you're going to turn inward, and you found awareness. The mind cannot know awareness. Only awareness can know awareness. So I'll share some riddles with you. Awareness of awareness is awareness. Being aware of being aware. And every time you notice that you were not aware, you are aware. So you're like, wow, I drifted off, but I'm back here in awareness. Oh, okay, now I'm present. So you're back to awareness. And this is how you find awareness. So I hope that's helpful. And again, the 3 techniques I shared with you before, connecting to the breath, sensory perceptions, coming into the body are fantastic. Use them all day, every day. They're fantastic techniques. But this direct path is also wonderful as well. You just simply ask the question, am I aware? What is it that is having the experience of being aware? You just relax back, you sink back, you fall back into awareness. Now, when you first start doing this, you need to practice. And maybe it's only a couple times a day where you pop out of your mental mind-made activity and you ask that question or connect to your breath and stuff and fall back and connect to awareness. And that's okay. Start slow, but practice. Like with anything, if you're going to be a good tennis player, you got to pick up the racket and practice every day, and you get better and better. Playing guitar, going to the gym to work out, whatever, it takes practice. And you'll discover that 2 times a day turns to 4 times a day, turns to 8 times a day. Soon you're doing it like 20 times a day. Use any type of pointer that you can. I used to use the ceiling fans in the gym every morning, and I'd look at that and like, come into awareness. Find some pointers. One of my clients actually wrote the word now on his bathroom mirror. So every time he went to brush his teeth or whatever, he saw now and whoosh, come into awareness. And you'll find that in the beginning, awareness is a place that you just occasionally visit. But otherwise, you're always whirling and swirling with all this mind-made activity. And then you discover you toggle back and forth for a while. And you get better at it. And you start coming back into awareness more and more. Maybe 20, 30, 40, 50 times a day. You're like, And maybe you can only hold it for a few seconds. But with practice, you come back and you hold it maybe 10 seconds, maybe 30 seconds, maybe a couple minutes. Soon it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes. And at some point, it's not a place that you visit, but it becomes your home base. Rather than you going to visit for dinner, you decide you want to move in. This is going to be my home base now because it's so wonderful to be there. I opened this video with saying there's a part of you that never suffers, is never agitated, never anxious, never depressed. Nothing is missing. There's no sense of lack. You're not restless. You're not even bored. All that is available to you when you abide in awareness, when you live in presence, when you come into consciousness, however way you want to say it. All that is available to you. And you want to make that your home base. You want to establish yourself as this. You want to take your stand as awareness because this is such a joyful way to live. And then when you go out in the world, whatever you experience, this is now your home base. So whatever you're experiencing, whatever's happening, you've got that equanimity. You're centered inside. So you will toggle back and forth. But with practice, you get more and more and you come into awareness. So I like to say, as you go out and experience and you're working and hanging out with friends and everything like that, you just stop and drop into being. I love this saying, stop and drop into being. You're out there, you're having coffee with your friend, and whew, all of a sudden, boom, stop and drop into being. You're still in the conversation with your friend, but all of a sudden, you're now fully aware. You're standing in line at the supermarket, your mind's going off, going, gosh, I hate this line, I don't want to be here, the cashier's retarded. Stop and drop into being. At the dentist office, at the airport, at work, stop and drop into being. And just, boom. It's that simple. And you'll find peace, regardless of what's going on out there. And at some point, you stop and drop into being so much that there's just continuous, unbroken peace of mind. And so you go out into the world, and you have inner peace. You're happy. There's joy. Even for no reason. You're feeling that peace. You're happy because you're not unhappy, because you got out of that mind-made activity. This is how you find awareness, but this is how you find peace and happiness in your daily life. And this is the end of suffering, is when you recognize this and see this, and that this is another gear that you can live life from. Live in presence. Abide in awareness. Come into consciousness. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. Be the spiritual being, meaning abide in awareness. It's such a wonderful, joyful way to live. And I hope all of you can find that and that this was helpful. Onward and upward, love and light.